The Abandoned by Disney Creepypasta is a series of unsettling tales that revolve around Disney's alleged, unexplained abandonment of certain resorts, both in the Bahamas and in the United States. Initially created by Slimebeast, a popular internet horror author known for other viral creepypastas like Funny Mouth, I Hate You, and Lost Episodes, this story suggests that Disney inexplicably abandoned a resort in the Bahamas called Treasure Island after spending $30 million on it sometime in the 2000s. According to the narrative, there was no clear reason for the resort's sudden abandonment. Another resort featured in this creepypasta was allegedly abandoned under strange circumstances as well. It was located near Emerald Isle, a beachside town in North Carolina, and was meant to be a jungle-themed resort called Mowgli's Palace. The project was controversial from the start, with Disney reportedly using questionable tactics to acquire the land for the resort. Nevertheless, the construction of Mowgli's Palace was completed, and it even welcomed tourists for a short time before it was mysteriously deserted. The author of the story claims that they visited the abandoned resort to take photos and investigate, only to find it in a disturbing state. The resort had been stripped of its valuable assets, leaving behind only desks, refrigerators, abandoned statues, and the decaying structures themselves. The tale further describes how Disney supposedly released exotic animals, including sharks and 80-foot pythons, onto the grounds after leaving the resort. One of the pythons allegedly crossed the author's path, initially mistaken for a statue. Adding to the eerie atmosphere, the creepypasta mentions how walls, staircases, and various objects in the resort were spray-painted with the words, "Abandoned by Disney," possibly by disgruntled employees. The story takes a truly chilling turn when the author allegedly encounters a photo-negative version of a Mickey Mouse costume that comes to life and removes its own head in front of them. Of course, every detail of this story is entirely fictional, as is the case with other entries in the Abandoned by Disney series. However, it was inspired by some real events. In the late 90s, Disney did have a real resort called Discovery Island, located in Bay Lake, Florida. From 1974 to 1999, it was a popular attraction for visitors who were drawn to the tropical setting and the variety of wild animals roaming freely. However, the resort came under scrutiny when it was charged with animal cruelty after it was revealed that several vultures had died in Disney's care for unexplained reasons. Discovery Island was ultimately closed in 1999, and its name was repurposed for one of Disney's Animal Kingdom lands. Since its closure, the island has been left to decay, with structures suffering significant damage from hurricanes. Today, in 2024, the remains of the original resort still stand on the island, giving it a haunting and nostalgic atmosphere. The island is now off limits to the public, though urban explorers have occasionally braved the area. In 2004, one such explorer, Shane Perez, swam through 300 feet of cold, alligator-infested water to reach the island, documenting his eerie findings. He discovered working lights and odd remnants, such as snakes stuffed into Coke bottles, and animals left behind after Disney's departure. This exploration caught significant attention, leading to a media frenzy, and Perez was permanently banned from all Disney resorts. Although the island is now under constant surveillance, this real-life location has contributed to the creepypasta surrounding Disney's alleged abandoned resorts. Despite its lighthearted image, Disney's secretive past has raised questions, casting a shadow over its public image. The Smiling Man. In April 2012, a Reddit user named Blue Tittle shared a chilling experience on the site titled The Smiling Man. The story describes how, during a solo nighttime walk in Seattle, Washington, Blue Tittle encountered a strange man dancing erratically at the end of the street. The dance was unsettling, resembling a waltz but with an unnatural forward stride. The man moved closer, and Blue Tittle, initially trying to avoid him, found the man following him as he walked down the street. What stood out most in the account was the description of the man's appearance. Tall, lanky, wearing an old suit, with wide, unblinking eyes, and a head tilted back to gaze at the sky. His mouth was fixed in a disturbing, forced smile. The man chased Blue Tittle for several blocks until the user managed to outrun him and return home. The unsettling encounter left Blue Tittle too scared to venture out alone at night again. Although this type of story might usually be dismissed as fiction, the smiling man became an urban legend, with others reporting similar sightings. The story was originally shared on the Let's Not Meet subreddit, which is reserved for real-life scary encounters, adding to its authenticity. Blue Tittle's online activity supports the notion that this story may not be fabricated. They discuss topics unrelated to horror, showing that their account is not simply part of an internet myth. Though we can never be completely certain, many believe the smiling man was a genuine experience. As for the man's intentions, it's anyone's guess. Perhaps he was under the influence, mentally unstable, or simply messing with Blue Tittle. The fact remains, it's better to trust your instincts when facing someone who seems out of place, especially in isolated situations like this. The year was 1991. In April 2015, a Reddit user named I'm Sorry Michael posted a terrifying tale titled The Year Was 1991. Detailing a disturbing incident in which they allegedly witnessed the kidnapping of a 4-year-old boy from a school playground. The post described how, one day, the user was at a playground near a sports field when a van parked near the playground, and a man dressed in a low-quality bear costume lured a young boy into the van with promises of candy before speeding off. The poster followed the van in an attempt to help, but soon got lost. It wasn't until the next day that they saw a news report about a 4-year-old named Michael Duna who had gone missing from the same location. The details in the Reddit post eerily matched the real-life case, which had occurred in 1991. On March 24, 1991, Michael's mother, Crystal Duna, took her son to Bandard Elementary School in Victoria, British Columbia. Michael asked to play at the playground alone, but when his father arrived, the boy had vanished. Despite extensive search efforts, no trace of Michael was found, and the disappearance remains unsolved. Strangely, there were no witnesses to the event, but a man with a brown van was reportedly seen near the playground. While it's possible the Reddit post was fictional, it seems to be based on real events, making it even more unnerving. Michael Duna's case remains one of the most haunting missing persons mysteries in Canadian history. The Alice Killings. The Alice Killings is a Japanese urban legend that claims a series of brutal, unexplained murders took place between 1999 and 2005. According to the legend, each victim was killed in a different manner, but all had one thing in common. A playing card was left near the body, with the word, Alice, written in the victim's blood. The cards themselves would vary, such as the Queen of Clubs marking a victim's grave or a King of Diamonds stuffed in a victim's hand. While this is a fictional creepypasta, it was inspired by a real story involving a killer in Spain. In 2003, Alfredo Galán, a former soldier turned security officer, went on a random killing spree in Madrid, leaving behind playing cards at some of his crime scenes. He was eventually arrested and confessed to the murders. His case became widely known as the playing card killer. Despite the gruesome details of both the legend and the real case, it's clear that media sensationalism played a part in shaping both the killer's actions and the public's perception of him. The Doppelganger. The Doppelganger creepypasta tells the terrifying tale of a young boy named Trey from rural Tennessee who experiences a strange and unsettling series of events. One night, Trey's father, Henry, informs his family that a colleague has gone missing, only to later discover that the colleague's body was found. But it was weeks old, meaning someone had been impersonating him. Later that night, Trey hears a knock at his window, and when he looks outside, he sees a figure claiming to be his father, who insists he's been locked out. The family then realizes the imposter is still on the loose. After a frightening sequence of events, Trey discovers a body resembling his mother, and the story leaves off on a chilling note with the revelation that Trey's father seems to have changed in appearance. While the tale is fictional, it draws from a real psychiatric condition called Kagura syndrome, where sufferers believe their loved ones have been replaced by imposters. Cases of violence have been linked to this syndrome, adding to the eerie nature of the tale.